Hi everyone, Macsen here. Welcome to my Let's Try video for Sorcerer King Rivals. Stardock, the makers of this game, were kind enough to give me an early copy. I'm actually recording this on the day of the game's release, which is the 22nd of September 2016, and if I'm quick enough I may even be able to get it out on the day of its release or the day after. So this game is a 4X strategy based game, much in the mold of Civilization series for example. But it has a fantasy RPG element to it. It's very much focused on fantasy tropes, for example, like wizards and sorcerers and ogres and all that type of thing. So if that sounds good to you, if you have an interest in that type of thing, I recommend you keep on watching. There's another reason to keep on watching, not only to learn all about the game, which I'm going to be going into great detail about if I'm able to during the course of this video. There's actually a giveaway I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to go into all details on that at the end of the video. Stardock were really generous and gave me a number of Steam keys to give away, so you can get your hands on the game completely for free. I think it normally retails for around $30 on Steam when it's not on offer. Right, so if I'm going to discuss a ton of details about the game, I better get started. I put a few hours into the game so far. It's Stardock Games that has a lot of similarities with other games like Galactic Civilizations 3 that Stardock made. The options are very familiar if you play Galciv 3 for example. There's tons of different things to muck around with in there. There's a campaign feature to the game. I'm not sure if there's a video. I don't want to press start for example. I'm just going to do a normal sandbox game here, and you can mod the game, and also there's a meta realm feature which I believe is kind of a comparison with other players who played a single player game. I'm not sure if there's multiplayer. I'll have to let you know in annotations if there is. Right, let's actually get started then. Let's start a new game. There are 8 different civilizations for you to choose from to play as, and they all have different features. They're actually really called sovereigns, I believe. They mainly focus around a certain party member of your starting party. For example, we have the dwarves here. They have Giot the marksman, which is a dwarf on a giant spider, and he happens to carry around a huge bow. You've got the Grand Lich, whom is Raza the Necromancer. You have various human factions as well. Now all of these different sovereign factions have different play styles, I believe, and yeah, they all do slightly different things. They all have different spell books. They are wizards or sorcerers. It's a key part of the game, and they all have different abilities as well, which have a great effect on how your game will play out. Now, Sorcerer King Rivals, there was actually an earlier version of this game which came out a year ago. This is kind of a standalone expansion. I'm not sure if Stardock are calling it that, but if you buy the game on Steam, then you get the full game basically and a new expansion. Or if you have the old game, you can actually just upgrade to the new features that Rivals brings along. I think in the old game, I'm not entirely sure on this, but I think there were 6 factions, and the new factions or sovereigns that have been added are the Dwarven faction and the Grand Lich faction. There's actually a Let's Play on Stardock's main YouTube channel where they show off the Grand Lich faction, so I'm actually going to show the Dwarven King sovereign. Bazal, I think he is called, the leader of the Frozen Realm. This channeler commands the snow and ice within his borders, giving unique bonuses to his armies. Their ability is the Frostlanders, commands magic that can convert the realm into snow and ice. They start with 8 different spell books in the Wrath, Summon and Enchant options. Giot, as I mentioned, is their starting main guy or sovereign, and they have a penchant, if that's the correct word, for wolves. Right, let's get started then. Gonna be playing as him. So you've got a number of options for different map sizes, difficulties, ascension speed, which I'll be talking more about later on, and shards, which I'll also be talking more about later on. Since this is a Let's Try video, I might be doing a Let's Play video in future, but yeah, it's not going to be like a full start to finish game here. I'm going to stick with those options. And you have a number of neutral factions within the game, 3 it would seem in this circumstance, on this map size. And depending on the difficulty, you can see down here they do slightly different things. More aggressive, harder the difficulty by the looks of it. The real key thing about this game is the Sorcerer King, the name of the actual game. You're basically in competition with the Sorcerer King to become a god, and whoever manages to do that wins the game. So there are shards, and that's the main way that you actually gain power in the game, and I'm going to be showing that as soon as the loading screen finishes. Before we actually get to the map, there's a number of options that we have to choose from. So, Basal's Rise, you are Batsal, chief of the Frozen Realm. You have led your people to the southern lands through the rot of fallen civilizations. Drawn by the threat of the Sorcerer King, then, once establishing a cold and comforting city in this wilderness, you turned your energies to the Sorcerer King and his sinister plans. How did you begin? So you can choose from a number of options here. Stockpiling resources, concentrating on magical matters, and you can have a ferocious army. I'm going to be discussing what all of these things do a bit later on, but I'm actually going to be picking an army, I think, here. So, Batsal's Rise, you were never intending to stop the Sorcerer King with words. That sounds quite dull, in fact. An axe does your talking. You ordered your lieutenants to begin raising an army, concentrating their efforts to suit the battles you perceived you'd soon be fighting. So we can choose from a number of options here. More axemen, catapults. You can choose that to choose something else from the previous options. I'm actually going to pick the wolf pack. One skilled at fighting and biting. There's typical Stardock sense of humour in this game as well. So you send word of the coming war to the great wolves of the north, but only 2 beasts answered the call. Sir Bitey and Lil Chompy. Yeah, definite Stardock humour. Right, so those are the options I picked. So we gain courage. The path you choose leads to the new quest, choices and interactions, and you can see my couple of wolves here. Batsal's Rise. And now the time to cast off the Sorcerer King's sinister rule has come. You must expand your realm, protect the shards of magic, and explore the world. You may find it useful to seek out allies to assist you in your fight, though be wary, they will have designs of their own. Eventually, you will have to confront the Sorcerer King himself and halt his evil plans once and for all. So you're really up against the Sorcerer King here. We could rename our starting city to something from Lord of the Rings perhaps. I'll just keep with Frozen Keep. Scouting reports. Our scouts have retrieved vital information on a nearby shard as well as several other notable locations. You'll need to train more scouts to explore further, but this information should help our efforts. Right, so if I zoom out, you can see the map basically in more detail. It's definitely got a bit of a retro feel to it, like the Civilization series, Civ 2 to Civ 4. It's square tiles, no hexagons in this game. And yeah, you can see, well, it's a bit prettier on this map, but it's probably a bit easier to figure out what everything is on the zoomed out option. You can see there's an army up there, there's woods here, that's obviously a river. That's our main starting army with our sovereign, Giot the Marksman, on his big old spider there. Not sure what the spider's name is, perhaps we'll have to come up with something. There's treasure chests, which I'm definitely going to want to pick up. And that's the mentioned shard as well, which is very important, and that was quite loud. I might turn down the SFX volume, which I think that's the right one. Okay, let's have a look up here then to see what all of these things are. So the report gives you details that are very important to winning the game, basically. You have quests. So this is the master quest. The real main objective of these two are ascend to godhood. While the strength of the Sorcerer King may be too much to overcome, you can use the spell of Ascendancy to beat him to godhood. Just watch out. Every time you cast a spell, it's sure to bring about his wrath. Master quest: defeat the Sorcerer King. Agathon and Vetra are terrible behemoths bound to the service of the Sorcerer King. They carry the only two keys that can unlock the Shadow Gate, which seals off the Sorcerer King's stronghold. Raise an army to defeat them, then pry the key from their cold or possibly hot dead hands. Yeah, so you're basically just up against the Sorcerer King, or at least he's the end game boss, where you win the game. The other faction, Sovereigns, I believe they are in the game, but they're just a hindrance, more of the main opponents. So the way you win the game, I believe, something to do with this, basically, the Orb of Power. I think you might have to acquire Ascension points or stop the Sorcerer King from gaining them. You, by the sounds of it, have to get some keys off a couple of his minions and then take him on somewhere. There are other tutorial type quests in here as well, which are common to most games these days, so I'm going to be trying to achieve those also. It's a 4X game, so you've got your standard city setup here, in which you train units, build buildings, and so on. Spells. Now, not every 4X game has this, so you have spells within this game, and they all do different features, and you can actually gain more spells during the course of the game. There's a crafting feature. The crafting feature, from what I've seen so far in the few hours I played, it basically enhances your army or armies in the main. There may be other features to it as well. It's rather important actually to maintain a strong army, I think, to help you gain extra resources, especially the shards, which are absolutely crucial. You can see that it says build a shrine here to gain mana, lore, or sovereign XP. Resources must be within your territory before being built. So I'm going to have to try and expand to pick up more shards like those two over there. That's going to be a prime goal of mine. The screen here, we can see it's kind of a wheel. It's very similar to Galset 3 actually. So you gain mana, skill, and lore here. So lore, this gives you, increases the speed rate of your spells that are being learned. Mana, that allows you to cast spells basically. And skill gives you extra XP for your sovereign, the big guy in the spider. We've got logistics here, which are important for the number of units you have. There's our mana. We have rivals as well, which I believe are the other factions, I'm guessing. Right, so I think I've discussed quite a few things. It's probably about time I started properly playing then. So let's left click on that. There's a new event. There's a shard. So I definitely want this since it gives extra mana and lore and sovereign XP. So we've claimed a shard. The shard is yours. Use the Manage Magic Orb on the left edge of the screen if you wish to adjust how much magic is channeled towards mana, lore, or sovereign skill. And we actually gain a couple of sovereign skill points by doing that as well. Now, I could muck around with this, but I don't really know what's most important at this stage of the game, to be honest. Yeah, so I'm going to keep it at this rate. Probably at different points in the game, some things become more important. If you're lacking on the ability to cast stuff, you're going to want more mana, so you might want to stick it up here, for example. Oh, and that actually unlocked an achievement, which I'm not sure will show up on the recording I do of this, but it might do, who knows. Doesn't always. Right, so that's done for now. Let's research a spell. So we've got 8 choices by the looks of it, and you can see here it mentions the rarity and also the type of spell that it happens to be. So what do I want here? That is the mana that the spell costs to cast, and the turn's going to take me to research it. So there's a wood one. Now sadly it doesn't seem like an exit this screen to check to see how many woods or forests I have, which sucks because I would have done that. It's obviously important to know. I'm going to pick up heal then first, since I don't know which one I want most. I would have picked either mountain or forest one otherwise. Heal will probably come in handy later on. So it looks like forest. A lot of forest. Maybe the one I want to go for later on. Idle units. There's a ton of treasure nearby. There's metal there as well. So I'm going to start to pick up this treasure. My big old spider and wolves. And how much movement have I got? This guy starts at 3 movement, and there's various ways you can increase your movement. What's this? This is a bandit loner army. It has 15 attack rating. We have 24 and 57 hit points. I may be able to defeat that at this stage of the game, but it's a bit close. I'm not going to attack it quite yet. I'm going to look for easier foes, basically. I don't want to basically wipe out my army straight away, since the army is absolutely crucial in this game. The city details, I am going to train or build a garden. So the garden gives you extra food. It's very important to get your food up, I think. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Essence determines the number of enchantments that can be placed on a city. This screen here actually shows you the tiles you can get. You can get 2 tiles away. It's not great, to be honest. I wish it was a bit clearer. But yeah, it shows resources there. I think that's an essence there. So I definitely want to pick that up because the enchantments that you can pick up are actually really good. I am going to actually cast a spell straight away on the city for extra food. And you can see here, this is going to grow at a much more increased rate. It doesn't actually tell you when the city grows that I can see here. That's something I might want to add. If I were to want to, well, I've got 40, I think it was, mana to start out. You can see I can't cast this now because I've run out of essence. Right, let's end the turn. Okay. Later on, we can craft a ton of things, but yeah, I haven't got enough treasure and defeated armies to nick treasure off yet. Let's come back up here then to get that treasure chest. Okay, we've got more stuff there. Okay, amount of movement. Senator. Right, looks like there is an army, a wolf army. So I am going to pick up that treasure first of all. And how would you like to see our first taste of combat? Right, so the combination of units all add up to give you a combat rating. They have 3 wolves and a looter. You can auto-resolve. I found the auto-resolve probably works more in your favour more often than not than maybe it should. But I definitely want to show off combat here. So let's jump in. Right, so it's basically a tile format, much like the main window of the game. I believe the left hand side denotes the order that the units go in, and you can actually see the details on the units here. So they all have, well, initiative determines when they go first, for example. Attack, accuracy, dodge, defense all relate to getting hit and doing damage basically, and a spell resist also. Something which is a bit weird is you can actually stick armor on creatures, like helmet. I'm actually going to be doing that later on when I pick up enough things. So we've got special abilities for different creatures as well. There's Howl, 1 attack for the rest of the battle. This guy goes first though, so let's hover over here, and you see down in the bottom right there it mentions outgoing attack, hit chance is 73, would only do 1 damage. Is that right? That's pretty appalling, isn't it? So yeah, this wolf ain't too good, put it that way. Oh, I think I've forgotten something here. I have a couple of wolves in my starting city that I may have forgotten to stick in my main army, so I've really messed up actually. I'm gonna have to remember to grab them in a second. I wouldn't be surprised if I lose a unit or two here. They're actually pretty weak starting units. I forgot to do a special attack then as well, which also won't help. Let's move that to there. Why won't it let me move there? I don't know. Right, not having too much luck here with combat then. I'll do the Howl thing. Since I can't get near it, I think it gives an extra attack points or something like that. Right, so I'm in danger of losing that. Luckily they're far away though. So what's next to move then? It is Jot the Marksman, is it? So he has a couple of special things as well. He has a 68% attack hitting that. This guy's amazing, he does crazy damage. Right, he's got 4 movement though, so let's move him up. Hopefully I can still shoot, I'm not actually sure. Right, that's more like it. Okay, that wolf can... I think I should pull this back, otherwise he's going to get killed, isn't he? So, let's come down here. And don't think I can do anything else with him realistically. Let's move that to there. 83% chance of doing 5 to 6 damage, which is just short actually what I need. I'll do the dead. Can I do the deadly bite? Yes I can. S83 chance. Brilliant. Okay, this has gone much better now. So he did a howl with his wolf to give him a bonus. Right, looks like that wolf's turn. I'm gonna just get him out of here. Don't want to lose a unit. Right, so we can pass. This one can move to... Well, what's their movement? It's 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll just move it there. And do the bleed attack on him. I'm pressing the wrong mouse key. Okay, is it his go yet? I'm not paying much attention to this. Go there. And what do we have here? Hobble. I think I'll just shoot him. 75. Let's get lucky, hopefully. Did get lucky, brilliant. It's fog or something here. That can pass. That can attack. This guy. Oh, it was his go, was it? And he can do that attack, which looks like it's automatic hit. Yeah, there's no accuracy chance down there. Alright, so that's combat basically, and that's a very small combat or a much bigger obviously combat's done that with all different types of creatures. The game actually has a Civilpedia type feature here, so you can see game concepts, rival factions, sovereigns, units that we can have, at least make. You can get units in other fashion, I believe. And there's monsters, huge bestiary there, spells, improvements. Yeah, so this game you could really get into and put easily a couple 100 hours in. I could see myself doing it if I had the time to play it. Right, so we've actually got a level up here for our main guy, and you can see there's a, well, you can't like pick stuff over here, you have to go in a certain direction. So there's Tangled Web, target enemies immobilized for 3 rounds. That would be quite useful, I think. In fact, I'm actually going to pick that one up. They're quite good as well. Right, we have 3 movement. Right, let's come in here. Yeah, here we go. So there's Lil Chompy and Sir Bitey. Combat would have been a lot easier if I had those. We've actually picked up a load of crafting items now, so I am going to start crafting. I'm going to get some basic leather boots, and that's all I've got enough to get for the time being. So, how I think my Jot the Marksman guy would like a fancy new pair of boots, so let's stick those on. So I think that gives extra defense. We've got a bit of movement. Let's start picking up some treasure. Probably want to do it in an efficient fashion. Let's go for those. How much movement? But on road as well, you actually get a huge movement boost. Up in the corner here, you can see what type of terrain you're on. Terrain's very important for various reasons. There's a bandit loner's army. I think. What's my attack rating? 33? Yeah, let's attack that. Right, we're just seeing combat. Let's do an auto-resolve, is it, for this one? Hopefully I don't lose that young wolf that got damage. So, Sir Bitey took 7 damage. Yeah, not too much. And we got a ton of experience. We also... well, I can move on that next turn to clear out that camp, I think. Crafting again. Let's get some gloves. Right. There's a return home scroll as well, which teleports your armies. Let's also make one of those. Click on this here and equip that. You don't have to equip consumables, it would seem. You can actually cast spells with your sovereign in combat and use those consumables. Right, let's end the turn. Okay, so we've got a message from the Sorcerer King. I require your power. Greetings, dwarf. Did you know you are a channeler? How is such a thing possible? It is a great power you have, but it comes with certain responsibilities. To help safeguard your people's continued prosperity, I will need to tap into your gifts from time to time. Please allow me to do so now. Right, so we have a number of options here. Now this guy, he starts out a heck of a lot stronger than us with armies that could crush us easily. So we have to probably pay him off for a while before getting stronger, building cities, getting shards. Preventing him from actually destroying shards. The way he wins the game is actually by destroying them rather than acquiring them like we do. So, what is the choice I'm going to do here? I don't want to do that because it's going to annoy him. It would be my pleasure, your majesty. I could also use a pioneer. So he's actually, what's happening is we are giving him power in effect. I can't remember what it's called, and he's actually going to give us something in return, which in this case happens to be a pioneer. Pioneers are actually settlers in this game, or at least they can form outposts and cities under certain circumstances. What we gave up then was ascension points. That's the name of it. So you can see over here he now has 5 towards the 500 amount. If he gets the 500, then we are in deep shit, basically. Now, it looks as if my Pioneer units can't group up with that army. I have too many there. So I probably need to take someone out. Which I should probably take out the Arctic Wolf Cub, I think. Yeah. And I may even pick up that treasure up there with him. And probably turn it to the city. Now there doesn't seem to be a group option here, I'm afraid. With the Pioneer, which is a pain in the ass. I might try and kill that. I really don't want to risk my Pioneer in combat, actually, because they are vulnerable. So I'm actually going to... They're reasonably weak, these are. Yeah, I'm going to attack without the Pioneer. And I think I'll just do an auto-resolve here. Not lose anyone. Get too badly damaged. So we lost 4 Officer Bitey's down to 16. We could get a healing potion later on, or even use a spell to heal our guys, of course, if they get in a bit of trouble. Oh, there's a bandit camp. I want to go there. Liberate a monster lair. You have cleansed the land of a monster lair. Those monsters, or economically disadvantaged ruffians, as they may be, will think twice before returning to this area. And we got yet more crafting supplies. There's Band of the Vanguard. Oh wow, that's +1 movement. I definitely want that. So I'm going to craft. And let's come in here. And oh, there's armor as well. Must have picked up a special item. So this is spell resist defense. I'll put that on him. Okay, so it looks like you can pick up all sorts of special things during your adventures. Right, so I definitely want to pick up that shard, but the thing is, you can't actually settle all that easily. I'm not sure if it's the case with all of the sovereigns, but you can see here, cities must be settled on fertile tiles. Fertile tiles have food yield icons above them. So in the case over here, if you look in the top right, that tells you what type of terrain. That's fertile land, but we've already got a city there. The way I believe you make land fertile, at least with the Dwarven sovereign, is actually turning the land into ice. And the way you do that, there's a number of ways you can do that. There's actually a skill coming up with the Jot the Marksman. And also you can make outposts, which also turn the land to ice as well. Right, so what is that? That is a clay pit, which is a type of resource. And there's also one there, which I'm not sure is actually within range of that city. That's a potential issue. I think I probably want to get that shard up really early, so I'm going to make an outpost in this area. And I'm just going to figure out where I want to stick it. So I need to stick it 2 tiles away from that shard. I'm probably over in this direction as much as possible. So I'm going to move there. Could move there as well. There's woods up there. I don't know what yields things really give. That's the thing. So I think those woods would be in range. There's ocean down there, which I doubt gives any yields actually, so maybe I want to be away from that. So I think I might, if I'm able to, stick an outpost. Well, I'd like to stick a city there, but I'll stick an outpost. No, I think I'll stick the outpost there, because I may scrap it and stick a city there later. That's what I'm thinking. If I stick the outpost there, it would get in the way of anyone coming through here, so it would be like protection as well. So next turn I'll settle an outpost. Right, so sovereign abilities. So I think this is in part, or all in part, perhaps due to one of the 3 yields there. Is it lore or something like that? Arctic speed. When walking through Arctic territory, friendly units move at 2 times speed. This is the key one though, I found. So when you win a battle, the surrounding tiles are converted to Arctic, and that allows you, once it's Arctic, if it's a certain type of tile with yields on it, to actually create a city in that tile. It's mainly flat tiles, no forest, I think, that allow you to do that once you've frozen that land. Right, let's pick that then. There's a champion level up as well, another one. This is power shot. I think I'll go for power shot out of those. Right, and let's end a turn. Right, let's ooh, this looks like an army attacking a frozen keep, which isn't good. I'm going to take out the pioneer there, and he is going to... Yeah, it's a really close decision actually. The thing is, I don't know for certain if I were to scrap the outpost, would the tiles return to non-frozen. I don't think there's an easy way for me to find out, so if I knew the case, then I'd probably found the outpost there rather than there, but I don't, so I'm gonna found it there, which it seems I'm able to do so. Build an outpost, so that's a minor quest. Pay no mind to the walls and lamentations of those who already dwelled here. You claim this land for your own kingdom. Sending enough pioneer to this outpost will upgrade its defensive capabilities. Okay, and you can now see yields all of a sudden, and in the top right you can also see we can build city. So I might want to put a city there, replace the outpost. That's what I've been going on about basically. I think that would be the best tile for it. That shard is now actually within a couple of the outposts. So, and also that is as well. So I should be able to upgrade these. And getting these shards is really key to winning a game. So let's build on here. It's going to use up logistics. If we can see our stats, that's what they start out as. With 1 shard. And now they've increased. Right, so we've got idle units. I probably need to get back to the capital then to defend against that army. I'll just do, well, we travel on the road, so we got there really quickly. I'll just do another auto resolve. So more experience, didn't lose anyone by the looks of it, and we've got some new items that we can see down there. I think at this point I'm in danger of letting this video go on a bit too long, so I hope I've given you enough details to give you an idea about what this game is all about, and I hope you enjoyed the video. There may be future content for this game on the channel, perhaps let's plays. You'll have to let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see, but I'm sure you're interested in that giveaway I'm doing for those free Steam codes. I'm actually going to do that in a separate video. You can click on a link here in the annotations that will take you to that video, or there's also a link in the description right at the bottom for that video as well. If you want to click on that, that will take you there, and I'll discuss all the details about the giveaway in that video. There is a very good reason why I've decided to do that, so I'll mention it in that actual video. Right, that's it though for this video. As I mentioned, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like. Really grateful if you do that. And also if you have any comments, like I mentioned, please well, use the comment section. If you want to consider subscribing, that would be great. Perhaps you want to find out when the future videos are on the channel, such as the results of that giveaway. And I should also mention other games I've done on the channel, like Galactic Civilizations 3, also made by Stardock. I've done guides and also Let's Plays for that. There's tons of other 4X content for the Civilization series, and there's going to be games like Civ 6, Endless Space 2, and more Solaris content coming on the channel, Master of Orion, so you may be interested in that as well. Please check out my existing content for much of that by looking on the homepage or in the playlists. I also have a Patreon page. That's a way that you can help support the channel if you want to see more content like this for years to come. I need as much help as I can get if I'm going to keep the channel going, so I'm really grateful if you check out my Patreon page, and even more grateful if you decide to become a patron of mine, and I'd just like to thank my existing patrons as well. Right, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Long ago, the land was conquered by the malevolent Sorcerer King. Unsatisfied with merely ruling the world, he now seeks to destroy the elemental shards to ascend to godhood. With the Sorcerer King occupied, the former kingdoms have risen once again, each with its own agenda. Some seek to claim the shards for their own. Others yearn to conquer, while still others seek only peace. Your people have selected you to lead them through this peril. Do you save the world, build armies to conquer it, or seek godhood for yourself?